The Utah Jazz are going to get trade offers for Lauri Markkanen. Let's talk about it. It's the Hoops Nerd Show. All right, guys, like always, like the video, subscribe to the channel. Let's get into this. So, in his latest In the Stein line, Jake Fisher revealed some interesting stuff on top of the just pretty interesting trade rumors about the Golden State Warriors trying to trade for LeBron James, which would set off an absolute five-alarm fire on the internet if that happened. We got some interesting info on Jonathan Kuminga. That contract situation continues to not go particularly well. It's a stalemate for both sides. Personally, I think eventually Kuminga is probably going to just take the offer. There's a lot of players out there. Just ask Dennis Schroeder. If you don't take the offer on the table, it's not always going to be there later. And $22 million a year for 2 seasons or whatever the Warriors are actually offering, that seems like more or less what they're offering for a 2-year deal. Kuminga is going to eventually take that offer from the Warriors. And one of the reasons is that it makes Kuminga tradable. Now, we're not here talking about Kuminga being traded for Lauri Markkanen, but I do think that that's a very big possibility at some point for the Warriors to make some sort of offer for Markkanen. According to Fisher, the Warriors, on top of being interested in LeBron James, are also interested in Trey Murphy, a wing shooter. And according to Jake Fisher, even though they're interested, just because you're interested in a player doesn't mean you just get to have that player on your team. Surprise, surprise that the Warriors want a really good, promising young wing that can shoot the ball and defend. And they want to give Kuminga a player they don't even want to sign to big money for him, right? Surprise, surprise. We know that story with Utah as well. What they were trying to get Lauri Markkanen for last offseason didn't happen. And on top of that, Golden State is saying don't even expect Moses Moody or any of their other young players. So I don't know. But what I do know is that all roads eventually lead to Markkanen with these teams. If the Golden State Warriors are looking for a wing that can shoot, that has size, you know who might be getting interest. And we know from Zach Lowe, who also revealed in his podcast that Lauri Markkanen is the most interesting trade candidate on the market. And those are his words. Not exactly verbatim, but more or less. That's what he said, and multiple times. So it's just something to watch. Now, like I've always said, it's up to the Jazz. Do they want to do this or not? It's up to them. If they don't get an offer they want, they don't have to trade Markkanen. Markkanen is a very good player, and I think that the Jazz can maneuver this season and still get their top 8 pick this upcoming draft while also developing the young guys. And this season is really an interesting one for Utah because it's kind of the last season they have to be bad if they want to keep their pick, because they won't owe Oklahoma City anything after this year, regardless of what happens. If they keep the pick, if they give them the pick, then they won't. It'll be done. But if they keep the pick this year, they don't have to worry about it anymore because all those stipulations with the Derek Favors trade are over. So it's really just up to the Jazz what they want to do. You can bet, knowing that in this Jake Fisher offer, the Pelicans are saying, no, we're not trading Trey Murphy, that these roads are going to lead back to Markkanen. Would not be surprising to me if they start sending offers to the Jazz for Markkanen once they have Kuminga signed, because Kuminga's not happy being there. They don't particularly love Kuminga either. Otherwise, they'd be giving him big money. But they are going to have to figure out some sort of salary to make that happen, because Lauri Markkanen makes $46 million a year, give or take. And if Kuminga's making 22, that's not going to match. So they're going to have to add something like 15 to 20 mil of salary to make that work. Now, another team that we know, and I wrote about it on SLC Dunk, I talked about it on here, the San Antonio Spurs are also interested in Trey Murphy. But all of us knowing and the Pelicans making it clear they're not trading Trey Murphy, especially to the team like the Spurs that are going to be very good for the next 10 years with Wembanyama and, Dylan Harper and everything they have going there. Probably not interested in getting, picks in the 20s for 3 or 4 years or whatever they're going to try to get from a potential trade source. They said they're not making a trade, so it might not happen. We know that the Spurs were interested in Markkanen. I think one of the podcasts that's really interesting that I listen to a lot that tends to be accurate on these things is the Bill Simmons podcast, who has been predicting a well, not necessarily predicting, but he keeps throwing it out there, Spurs Jazz trade, which makes me wonder if they have talked. All these roads are going to lead back to Markkanen. It's why Zach Lowe has said that. When you look at what's on the market, it's Trey Murphy. Malik Beasley is available in free agency, but no teams have money left. And Malik Beasley is a shooting guard who can shoot. He shoots it well, but he's probably best as a sixth man. Lauri Markkanen is an all-star caliber starter when he's playing well. And he plays on the wing, he shoots it, spreads the floor, he can fit with any team. It's what makes him so interesting and compelling. And considering Lauri Markkanen in Eurobasket is absolutely dominating, except for his last game, but I didn't say anything, even though people had lots of comments about me. I know everyone's favorite thing is when I talk about Lauri Markkanen. But anyways, you can just bet. All roads lead to Markkanen. These are just two teams that it's very clear they want a wing shooter with size. They are going to make calls with the Utah Jazz. There are trade scenarios with the Spurs that fit, that can make it happen. We'll see if they give the Jazz what the Jazz might potentially want. I honestly think that it's probably going to take a little time. What we've seen historically with this Jazz team is they've kind of waited till trade deadline, but Austin Ainge is different than his dad. So we'll see if he's more aggressive, more willing to make a trade than his dad was. The reason they made the trades they did already and were willing to kind of take less than they might have had they waited is because they want the young guys to play, which is going to help them get that top 8 pick. If Utah goes into the season, what if Ace Bailey is really good? Which would be really exciting for Jazz fans, no doubt. And then maybe you don't, that in some ways would even give Utah leverage. But if they want to keep their pick, their first round pick next offseason, and let's say Ace Bailey's good, we already know Lauri Markkanen's good. You're playing with fire, because if Utah, the 2 seasons where Utah didn't go all out tank, they were 9 and 10 in the draft. And if they go 9 or 10 next season, they don't keep their pick like they did the first 2 seasons. Those first 2 seasons with that Thunder protection was top 10 protected. It goes to top 8 protected now. We've talked about this a lot, but it's something to watch. And the Jazz have said they are very much wanting to keep that pick. So we'll see what happens. It's going to be an absolute blast of a season. Guys, I'm getting more and more excited. It's getting closer. We're almost in September. Pretty soon. It's preview season time. I'm going to start doing more preview stuff. We'll see. Obviously, as news comes out, thank goodness for the Jake Fishers and the Mark Steins of the world giving us, these little tidbits and morsels in this oasis where we're just in this desert of content out there. There's nothing really out there. So we're trying to go do the best we can, guys. And that means Lauri Markkanen talk sometimes. Thank you to the All-Stars. Thank you to all the members. But yes, the All-Stars, thank you so much. We will have such a blast this season, guys. I'm very, very excited. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. I will talk to you next time.